Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning, episode 421, back on the topic of the NFL today. Today, Jay and I are going to be talking about how far Trevor Lawrence can take the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021. But first question of the day, and that is going to be, who is Jacksonville's franchise sack leader? Again, if you know the answer, comment below, and if you don't, stick around to the end of the video and we will discuss it then. But first things first, I guess this requires us to assume that Jacksonville will draft Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think that is very likely, but I guess obviously anything could happen. So we're going to be assuming Jacksonville drafts Trevor Lawrence. Jay, how far can he take them in his rookie season?
I'm going to compare Trevor Lawrence a lot to Justin Herbert. I don't think the Jaguars will be the worst team in the NFL, and I think he could bring the Jaguars promise. But rookie year, I think there's a lot of holes, and I think he'll bring them to a promising season that brings them a lot of momentum heading into his sophomore year. But I think he's going to be like Justin Herbert on the Chargers, like I said, where there's a lot of success for the future. But first year, there's just too many things to fill and too many things that aren't going to click right away for them to pull off a winning season, a division title, or a playoff berth. For the Jaguars, they are in a could be better, could be worse situation. You know, Trevor Lawrence won't be in a division like Joe Burrow, where three of the other teams in his division are more than likely going to be playoff teams. However, he's not in an NFC East division where every team's going to be below 500. He's in the AFC South where you got the Texans more than likely free falling once Deshaun Watson moves on, and
Free falling from 4-12 to 0-16.
Yeah, Carson Wentz and the Colts might not be 100%, and if Derrick Henry ever gets figured out or if he gets injured, and they just lost their offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, there's a lot of question marks along that division. Like I said, there is a playoff team or two in there, but it's nothing like the NFC North or AFC North or NFC West with the Seahawks and Niners, who are all competitive. So he does have some, leniency within the division, but I think a lot of it's going to determine not how well Trevor Lawrence will do, because I think a lot of us are assuming he's going to be a great prospect and turn out to be a great quarterback. It's going to be a lot of the what ifs and big question marks around him. How will they do with the most amount of cap space in the NFL? What will they do with their second first-round pick? How will Urban Meyer transition to the NFL? A lot of it, I think, will be upon the Jaguars roster itself, not Trevor Lawrence. I think he'll put up, solid numbers. Like I said, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow will throw 3,500 yards. He'll throw right around 30 touchdowns, anywhere from 27 to 30, and probably anywhere from 10 to 20 picks. Rookie mistakes, rookie numbers. He's not going to be excellent, but he's going to be what we expect him to be, a solid prospect that shows a lot of promise. I think he can win Rookie of the Year. I'm sure he's leading the odds if you look at Vegas bets, but really Rookie of the Year is probably going to go to some guy we haven't really heard of, or we haven't really expected. That's what it is every year. No one thought Alvin Kamara would win Rookie of the Year. No one thought Justin Jefferson would be in the winning Rookie of the Year. Past years and years, every year it's a diamond in the rough in the draft. It's never usually the top prospect guy that comes out and wins it. Yes, sometimes it is, but overall, I think he could bring them hope. But I do think 7-9, 8-8 is right around the bracket of where they will finish. They'll get some breaks facing the Texans, like I said, but I don't think they'll be anywhere near competitive, just because all the new players, all the new coaches, and of course, brand new quarterback who will make rookie mistakes no matter how good he is. I think it's just a lot to ask for a playoff berth right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say 8 wins as far as he'll take that team, maybe 9. So I'm going to say they're sitting right at 500, which would be a huge step up from what they've been in the last couple of years. Would they win? I think
1-15.
One game, yeah, of course, one game.
We
beat the Colts week 1, and Anyway, so the Jags will be certainly better than they were this past year, largely because of Trevor Lawrence, because Mike Glennon was obviously not good, and Gardner started the first half of the year and whatever. So they didn't have a good quarterback, so now they will, hopefully. So I do think they can win 8 games, maybe 9. Like Jay said, the Texans should be. I don't know if the Texans somehow end up keeping Deshaun and he plays for them, they'll probably split.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they should be able to get some games from Houston, and like I said, eventually win 8 is what I think. They do have a good young team, assuming Trevor Lawrence goes there, and then in the receiving staff you got Chenault and Chark, good young receivers. James Robinson in the backfield is good young running back, and then of course the new coach in Urban Meyer. A lot of speculation there. Will he work? Will he turn out well? I do think that they're at an advantage to where they have a brand new quarterback and a brand new coach, to where they don't have to really clash on any. If there was an existing way they ran things, well, now there's the two biggest guys on the field, head coach and the quarterback, are going to be starting fresh together. So I think that is an advantage. And of course, Trevor Lawrence coming fresh out of college, and Urban Meyer being a college-oriented coach, that could end up actually helping them, or could do the opposite. So, but the Jaguars' defense is still really nothing that they can rely on to hold other teams to less than 20 points. Because like Jay said, Trevor Lawrence should be good, but he's not going to be fantastic likely in his rookie season. We're going to see him throw interceptions. We're going to see him likely throw 25 plus touchdowns, I do think, but he's not going to come out and be Tom Brady his rookie season. odds are he won't. So I do think that the Jags can put together a better season than they have in the past couple seasons. But when they went to the AFC Championship, I think they came out as a 9-7 team.
10-6.
10-6 team. Okay, so
they didn't win the division.
They're not quite on that level, but this is a team that if they had a winning season at 9-7, I think that's the top end of my realm of possibilities. But it's certainly not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him, like I said, have the most amount of cap space in the NFL, and you got guys that are looking for big paychecks and aren't really chasing a ring, such as Shaq Barrett from the Buccaneers. As much as I want to see him go and stay in Tampa Bay, him to Jacksonville would make a lot of sense. They could pay him the right amount of money, and he wouldn't be by himself on the defensive line. Outside of the defensive line, he'd be by himself, but he has Josh Allen, the DN, on the Jaguars defensive line that they could be on opposite sides and help each other out. And then Miles Jack, kind of the captain linebacker of that front seven. There'd be a solid foundation on that defense. It's a secondary that's a complete question mark and blank slate that you would need to draft on and pick up other free agents, maybe Richard Sherman. But this team has the money to overpay. You're going to have to get a pass rusher like Shaq Barrett. Maybe even if you get Shaq Barrett, maybe you can persuade Chris Godwin, and you got two extra X factors on this team. And 9-7, 8-8 doesn't seem so far out of the realm. But right now, looking at their current roster and having this many question marks, a playoff berth is just too much to ask of Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't even stepped on an NFL field yet.
Yeah, we do have to certainly consider the possibility that Trevor Lawrence is not good in the NFL. That would obviously let a lot of people down, not especially, but including people that aren't even really big fans of the Jags or him, like myself. I would still be disappointed if Trevor Lawrence didn't turn out well. But we certainly have to consider the fact, I don't know what the numbers are, but I think history shows that being the first overall pick is not necessarily a good karma event moving into the league. Yeah. I mean, obviously Joe Burrow didn't have a bad year, but his team won 2 out of 8 games, I think, or 2 out of 10 games in the time he played, and he tore his ACL. And I don't know who the first overall picks were the years before, but anyway, I think it's sort of a curse to be drafted at first overall. So I hope Trevor Lawrence doesn't struggle, but a lot of like I said, the head coach thing could end up dragging him down. Just the fact that he's never played NFL football, the fact that his defense right now isn't very good. So this all could equate to 2 wins. Realistically, it could happen, but I do think that Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer will click enough to have a 500 season.
Yeah, even Peyton Manning, one of the best quarterbacks all time, went 3-13, something like that.
Yeah.
So if he performs bad, that's fine, but you just want to see that he has potential and could be your franchise guy.
100%. Even if they come out and win 3-4 games, you still, there'll be moments that you'll be able to tell Trevor Lawrence could be the future of this franchise, and hopefully we at least see that. Yeah,
the last thing I want to see, though, is a Joe Burrow in Cincinnati where they don't protect him and he ends up getting hurt. And we still know Joe Burrow has talent, but it's still nothing you want to see. You want Trevor to get a whole season under his belt, learn the ropes. I don't care what the record is this year. I do think 8-8 is the ceiling, but if 8-8 is your ceiling, clearly the expectations aren't that high. We're very understanding and unbiased. We're not expecting you to be the high prospect that will go 11-5 the rookie year. I just want them to show promise for the Jaguars in the future.
And like I said, Joe Burrow won 2 games? Like I said, I think he went 2-8.
And no one's doubting him.
And no, we're still considering him the future of that franchise for sure. So like I said, the Jags don't need to win 8 or 9 games for this to be considered a successful thing to draft Trevor Lawrence. But they do need to win some games that you maybe didn't expect them to. We need to see Trevor Lawrence overcome some adversity, have some late game drives that are good, all this. So hopefully we just see some glimpse of light for Jacksonville, because really it's only up from here that they can go.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, guys, that's all for the video. Again, comment below whether or not you agree that the Jags can win 8 or 9 games, or if you think that they're going to only win 2 or whatever. So comment below what you think about the Jags going into next year. And as far as the question of the day, your Jaguars all-time leading sack leader is Tony Brackens. Guys, thanks for watching. 2 in the morning.